Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're reviewing Shadow Shell's new Moon Temple uniform. And I know we've had a lot to say in the negative side about the update as far as dispatch goes, but on the flip side, thankfully, at least the characters, we already covered Miles, now we're going to Shadow Shell, are very good. And Shadow Shell is no different. However, I do feel like there's kind of a little caveat with Shadow Shell that I do want to talk about. But first, we'll talk about what's good. So Shadow Shell's new uniform basically makes her insanely tanky, defensively, very, very high defenses, healing. She got the whole shebang. It also makes her very easy to play with a very simple 3 cancel 4 cancel 5 rotation, 4 seconds of invisibility, and then she also has the V-pad skill on 1 that you can use to run away, that you can use to reposition yourself, etc., etc. So you have a really, really nice PvE kit for her. Still scales directly with poison damage, so she still has the ability to use a poison proc obelisk or a CTP of judgment. So you have a wide variety of build options available for her, and yeah, all that stuff combined. So in that sense, she's very, very good. Now, we haven't been short on strong, tier 3 or transcended speed female heroes. We've sort of had a lot of those lately, but all right, let's just get to this next phase here, and then we'll keep talking. So, like, we haven't been short on the typing that she commands, but on the flip side, she does have the extension of being able to go to level 80 and then being able to go to tier 4. So that is definitely something to consider as a positive to her build. The only negative when you can compare her to someone like Shuri is that she doesn't have any support buffs besides for the Warriors of the Sky. She still does have a Warriors of the Sky passive buff, I believe, where it gives like all defense to the Warriors of the Sky, and that explains why her defenses are so high. But generally speaking, you're not going to be taking advantage of that passive unless you run a Warriors of the Sky themed team for something like Timeline Battle or Alliance Conquest. But as you can see, she's chugging along here, and she's doing so with just a regular proc obelisk. So this is quite impressive. It's probably along the lines of where we saw both Kamala and Shuri perform with obelisks. So if you know the performance of Kamala and Shuri, this is very, very similar. I would say she's probably as tanky or tankier than those two as well. So you sort of have the best of both worlds as far as offense and defense goes. And probably the easiest of the 3 to proc. Like, Shuri was really easy to proc on. Kamala had her issues at first, but then she got better. But you can see here we can recover very easily from being almost at 0 HP. Very, very nice recovery, and then we can just run away. We still are going to switch to Wave just because Wave is like hella fast. But you can see how it goes and how she performs. So yeah, being able to do stage 54 here, quite impressive. Again, very similar to... I goofed up that proc. Very similar to voices cracking, screwed up the proc. Very similar to Shuri and Kamala. Why are we building up to this? Well, here's the thing. Although she's similar to Shuri and Kamala, that's where I kind of find things to be lacking because she's a newer character, right? I know Shuri only came out a couple of months ago, but if I had to just compare Shadow Shell at level 70 without level 80, without anything else, to Shuri, I would pick Shuri because their damage is going to be very similar, on top of the fact that Shuri has the support passive. So again, I don't want to make this the whole review, and it's not the whole review because we are going to take Shadow Shell to 80 and show you how much better she gets, and she does get insanely better. But there are some players who do not take characters to level 80 just because it's available, right? Because you have new players, right, who cannot yet beat World Boss Legend, and that's not really something that's on their radar just yet. So but they still need characters to carry them through. So in that case, if you're a newer player and you're looking for a speed female hero and you haven't pulled the trigger yet on Shuri, I would say Shuri is a better investment strictly at level 70 than Shadow Shell is. And same thing goes for Kamala. Shuri's better than Kamala. Okay, I just wanted to make that distinction there because it's difficult. You want to be honest with the review. On the one hand, is Shadow Shell very good? Yes. She's very proc friendly, very tanky, healing, repositioning, whatever. But at level 70, she doesn't really push the needle. Like it's fairly obvious that she doesn't push the needle at level 70. You can give her, brilliant CTPs to try and mask that fact, but it doesn't really matter. She doesn't really push the needle at 70. She does, however, get insanely good at 80, and that's what I wanted to show you. So for those of you that can take her to 80 and you have the materials to take her to 80, this is what you're gonna want to see, because this next part gets pretty crazy. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and enhance her potential here. We're not gonna use Life Seed. But yeah, that's kind of the thing I wanted to highlight. And I know that every player is moving towards, like, every player should be moving towards getting World Boss Legend done as fast as possible, like unlocking World Boss Legend as fast as possible. But it still takes you, like, whatever, 4 to 6 months from the startup of a brand new account or longer. Like, it's not something you could just dive right into. So if you're in that situation for whatever reason, or if you're a returning player who's going to end up being in that same situation, because there are returning players who just never bothered to build Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Cable, Apocalypse, so it's still going to take them a few months of focusing on those character builds before they can then move into World Boss Legend. And without World Boss Legend, you cannot unlock second potential, right? So I just wanted to make that clear, because I think a lot of the nuance is lost, and I want to be as thorough with these reviews as far as what you can expect the character to do at different stages. At level 70, I'm impressed with her rework as far as a rework goes in general. But since we've gotten so many good speed female heroes lately, that's where she kind of falls short. As far as comparing her to Black Widow, here's the good news. I think she's better than Black Widow at level 70. I also think she's better than Black Widow at level 80 from the content that I've seen. Obviously, I haven't tested her. I just got her to level 80. But I do think she's better than Black Widow at level 80 as far as her damage goes and her survivability. So yeah, you can see there she's already over 23,000 on both defenses, which is insane. And you can see the Shell Shield. Yeah, that's the Warriors of the Sky passive that she has. That gives 25% damage reduction to all Warriors of the Sky and 50% all defenses. By the way, a tier 4 Shadow Shell in some cases has more defenses than tier 4 Jean Grey. Let that sink in as we go into this next content, baby. So if you can get Shadow Shell to level 80, here's where the magic really happens. Again, very minimal build, just a bunch of 5-star Uru, any kind of obelisk with a proc, whether it has ignore dodge or crit damage or crit rate or ideally poison damage, but literally any kind of proc obelisk. And then you can do stuff like this, where you can just absolutely rip it on a very high stage. This is 59 of null, so you can basically take this and apply this to a lower stage with less pierce and just absolutely crush the boss. Ooh, we did squeeze out. We did dodge the cage and get the proc in. Okay, let's go. No more voice crack. No more voice crack. So yes, this is where she gets, a lot more impressive. And I remember how hard I was on... Oh, no. Oh, sick. We skipped the second cage too. Let's go. I remember how hard I was on Black Widow at 80 and how unimpressed I was with her content and her ability to do stuff. So I do want to highlight on the other end how strong Shadow Shell looks. This is a very high stage for just being level 80. And I know that we have a lot of level 80s now, but we only have 2 speed female level 80s, right? We have Black Widow and we have her. And so her being able to crush this with a very minimal build, that's a minute, right? That's a minute. With a very minimal build, if I slap an energy on her, if I slap a judgment on her, and that's, again, another part of what makes this so good, is we're going to proc on 6 here, just because he goes into iframe and she doesn't have iframe ignore. It's the one skill she's missing. Then we're going to use the 1 to run away from him. So let me show you guys a little bit of tactic here. We use the 1 to run away from null to stop him from doing his subsequent attacks, to force him to basically chase us. It didn't work there because he went into the sort of spike phase, but you can actually make it work with some other moments in the battle. Remember how we used to make null chase us around? We would pop off 1 proc with Moonstone and then run away, and he would chase us as we were waiting for our cooldowns. Shadow Shell can do that again. So look at this. Because we're invisible, we can move away with the first skill, and now null is forced to just chase us, and we interrupt him, and he can't go into his next rotation and start his next move. And we can do it again, and see, look, he's just stuck over there. And then we can just come back, re-engage when we're ready. It's only a couple seconds. She has very short cooldowns, So it's not really a Moonstone situations where she has very long cooldowns, but it's just really cool to see you able to manipulate the boss like that. And of course, because she has invisibility on the 5th skill, and then she has the V-pad skill on the 1st skill that allows you to move, you can do this to basically any boss. So being able to go invisible and then reposition is a very it's a very valuable and underrated combo. So defensively, very, very nice. We're gonna save the Warriors of the Sky skill because we want to I think we want to get the invincibility on it before we go into 5. I think she gets guard broken otherwise. Yeah. Ooh, a little bit sketchy as far as taking too much damage. Yeah. Very on high stages, like 59, we're getting kind of high. He does a lot of damage, but you can see the damage he's pumping out. A slight delay on 3 is actually the ideal proc, I believe. But yeah, she just crushes the stage. 2 minutes left on my very first try, right? And an obelisk. You know what I'm saying? So she would absolutely obliterate. So let me go back now and let me switch my card deck, okay? I want to try and fit this into the video. I'm gonna switch over to a completely, you know, 0 pierce build so you guys can see how she's going to perform in those circumstances, and just to show you how strong she is at level 80. So after further consideration, I decided to put together a more free-to-play friendly team, because there's no point in testing the free-to-play cards without the free-to-play team. If you're still including Wave with the uniform and White Fox with the holiday uniform, it doesn't make sense. So we're going with She-Hulk and Shuri. Stage 9. Again, free-to-play players are not going to have stage 20, 30 unlocked. Don't think you can go that high anyways without Pierce, to be honest with you. But let's see if she can cruise through stage 9, which I'm pretty sure she can, with just this minimal build here. Yo, let's go. Easy clap. Easy clap. So this is why, if you can clear stage 1 of World Boss Legend and you want to go higher and further and you're still building up your card deck, this is a character that's going to be able to do some pretty crazy things for you. Super easy to play, super tanky. Look at that. And again, you just add a little bit of Pierce to this mixture. You guys know the first like 2 to 10% Pierce, you feel like a god. So you add 5 Pierce to this thing, she could probably jump 10 stages. You know what I'm saying? She is just crushing this right now. Do you guys remember back in the day when World Boss Legend first came out, and you know, only a few characters could even come close to clearing stage 9 with a maxed out build? You know, like native tier 2 characters that were tier 3 and they had CTPs equipped and, you know, Odin's blessings and stuff. She's got an obelisk. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, this is not even her best team. That's the other thing. Not even her best team. Look at this. 100 seconds and we're done phase 2. So you add, bro, just a tiny bit of Pierce to this, and easily you've got the 100-second challenge down. Super tanky, very, very strong, and then has the ability to go even further. Are you going to hit me with that? Nope. You can run out of the way with the first skill. Let's go. Easy proc. 3 cancel, 4 cancel, 5. Reposition with the 1. You can even add the 2 in when you get comfortable. So you can do 3 cancel, 4 cancel, 5. After she pops off with 5, you do 2. And then you move around with 1. I've been keeping it simple, not adding that in, but you can absolutely add that in. Move out of the way with the V-pad. Never, 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 never. Can't forget the Bev. Never, never, never. Okay. True. Wow. True. I'm losing so much time here. Wow. Time to kill him, I guess. Adios, muchacho. Nah, eh? He's gonna cutscene me. No! Oh my god, I lost like 30 seconds to this clown. Because he cutscened me. Alright, it's fine. Just be behind him. Boom, done. Over 2 minutes left. Easy, 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 dude, with a completely free-to-play set of cards. And if you don't believe me, we'll just keep it rolling. I mean, you obviously can just compare the HP, but if you don't believe me, you can go ahead and take a look. I was using those cards right there. So that's where I think her value comes into play. You know, it doesn't shine until she gets to level 80, but at 80, she becomes an absolute monster. And this is what we wanted Black Widow to be. So this is definitely more in line with what I expect from level 80 characters, you know, not requiring the tier 4 to be good. That is what I like. Very good offense, but also very good defense. So none of the traps that previous level 80s, including Black Widow, had. Very, very nice. I'd say a better level 80 than my experience was with Blue Dragon, which is good to see them improve on that, because that is what we should expect, right? You should expect, obviously, the tier 4s to be amazing, of course, but for people who can't make the investment all the way up, you have to give them something to look forward to at level 80, which, you know, it doesn't cost very much, right? It encourages you to play World Boss Legend. It encourages you to take steps up the ladder of the game's progress, but it does not require you. It doesn't ask for Carbonadium, Soul of the Faltine, Life Seed, right? It doesn't ask you to sell your kidney to buy packs to get them to tier 4. So I'm very happy with her level 80 production. I wanted to squeeze them both into a video to show you guys and to sort of explain the key differences there. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you think and what you'd like to see from Shadow Shell next, whether it's an energy CTP or a judgment, some kind of thing, because she's very flexible with the builds as well. She could even do like a mighty destruction. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.